Oh my gosh! The first image from the James Webb Space Telescope. And here it is. Galaxies to the edge of time. Oh my gosh. You know how big an area this is on the sky? Take a grain of sand, hold it at arm's length, and ask, how much of the sky does that cover? This is the area covered by that grain of sand, as seen by the James Webb Space Telescope 1,000,000 miles from Earth.
Meanwhile,
that's why I, as a Black queer person, am so proud to follow in the footsteps of my ancestors who studied and dreamed with the night sky, sometimes of freedom. Astronomers like Harriet Tubman, for whom the recently launched James Webb Space Telescope should be renamed. I honor the gay NASA employees who were persecuted under the leadership of JWST's namesake, even as I share in the tremendous community-wide excitement for what that facility is going to teach us about dark matter.
I know that a lot of people are sort of not satisfied with the name James Webb because of its association with discrimination against LGBT people. I wanted to ask if the sort of name is sort of a done deal.
All right, guys. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are really living in the twilight zone when you have the woke mob raging against NASA over what they're calling a homophobic telescope, right? A telescope called the James Webb Space Telescope is being deemed as homophobic. And when I saw this headline, guys, I could not believe it, right? I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, we're literally living in a society where we're calling telescopes homophobic, right? Now, this telescope is supposed to be like a historic kind of like achievement in science and space exploration because it reveals images of deep space that allegedly are pictures of the universe some 13 billion years ago at the beginning of time, if you believe that, right? I know there's some people who don't really believe that the universe is that old, and you know, again, that's a whole nother video for another day. But I'm just saying, for all intents and purposes, this is a great scientific achievement, right? And as a fan of the universe, right, and how big the universe actually is in space and all that stuff, I'm a huge fan of that stuff. This is one of the reasons why, you know, I love what Trump did with Space Force, okay? I love to establish that. I think that it's probably going to be one of Trump's biggest long-lasting legacies. Again, I'm just disappointed, man. Like, it's just, it really bothers me that we can't enjoy scientific achievement, genuine achievements, using taxpayer dollars, by the way, because people are raging over a telescope being homophobic. And the reason why they're deeming it to be homophobic is because apparently this telescope was named after a raging homophobe, Mr. James Webb, who worked for NASA back in the 1950s. And they're upset because NASA refuses to rename the telescope. They're not going to bend over to the woke mob and change the name of the telescope because the woke mob is offended, okay? Because the guy, James Webb, you know, more so than being a raging homophobe, what's actually more important is the fact that he contributed significantly to NASA and scientific achievements in space exploration, which is why he has his telescope named after him, right? But again, the woke mob can't seem to get past that, right? They are demanding that the telescope's name be changed. So let's read about this because, again, this is just more of the woke insanity that we have going on in our society. On Tuesday, NASA revealed breathtaking images of deep space that have never been seen before, but were immediately reposted to the Instagram stories of every LGBTQ plus person on the internet, and for good reason. Those stars are gorgeous and also make for good meme material, but if you weren't already aware, we regret to inform you that the telescope that captured the images, the James Webb Space Telescope, is named after a raging homophobe. That means that some of the prettiest images we've seen from deep space are named after a guy who was complicit in one of the most homophobic federal employment policies in history. Despite years of activism pushing NASA to rename the instrument, Webb was the administrator of NASA from 1961 to 1968, and during his tenure, he was allegedly complicit in a mass purge of LGBTQ plus people from the federal workforce. As a leader at NASA, he was responsible for enforcing the anti-LGBTQ plus, quote, lavender scare, a 1950s moral panic that saw many people fired from government positions simply for being queer. According to Scientific American, Webb cooperated with the Senate and handed over what they call homophobic material to government officials. Quote, some argue that if Webb was complicit, so was everyone working in the agency's administration at the time. We agree, the Scientific American article reads, but NASA's not launching a telescope named after its entire administration. All right, so I want you guys to understand. What the mob is upset about here is allegedly James Webb, who was an administrator at NASA, allegedly he was complicit. He worked with the Truman administration, right, to purge gay people from government institutions. Okay, that is what the allegations is. However, NASA did their own investigation into this. Okay, and NASA saying, look, we haven't found any evidence to warrant renaming this telescope. Basically, what they're saying is that we haven't found evidence that James Webb was some type of raging homophobe. So y'all can kick rocks because we ain't renaming shit, right? We ain't renaming anything. Now, there was one guy at NASA, an administrator, that was fired on suspicions of being gay, but he sued and won, right? He sued and won, okay, for wrongful dismissal, okay? That's like the only thing that they have. And because of that, they're saying that, you know what, we can't name this telescope after this guy because we think he was homophobic, even though we don't have any real evidence to suggest that this man was directly responsible for gay people, queer people, LGBTQ people, whatever you would call it, being dismissed and fired from government positions, okay? The core of their argument, the gripes that they really have, is that this guy, James Webb, as an administrator, didn't do enough to fight back against what they deemed to be a discriminatory government policy. He didn't do enough. He wasn't woke enough for his time. So therefore, he had to be homophobic because he didn't step in and reverse this homophobic policy that the Truman administration was trying to implement in the government to kick gay people out of their positions. Okay, that is what they're saying. He didn't do enough, so therefore he's homophobic. He didn't fight back, so therefore he's homophobic. Again, that's what's going on here. Right? Again, it really blows my mind that we can't enjoy historic scientific achievements because people get mad about the name of a telescope because they think that the guy that is named after was homophobic. Okay, again, it really blows my mind. It really does. To that end, the authors of the Scientific American article started a petition to rename the telescope. It has been circulating since 2021 and has garnered over 1,700 signatures from those in the astronomy community since its launch. The petitioners also recommended Harriet Tubman as a suitable alternative, as she led so many people to freedom navigating by the lightning coordinates of the stars. Wow, why does the mob want to rename everything after Harriet Tubman, right? Why Harriet Tubman? They want to put Harriet's face on the dollar bill. I mean, even black folks, I don't think they want to put Harriet Tubman's face on the dollar bill, right? I mean, I've heard this joke from black people in which they say, if you're going to put a black woman or a black person on a dollar bill, put a pretty one up there, right? Don't put Harriet up there. Harriet was ugly, right? Again, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. I'm just saying. They want to put Harriet's face on everything, okay? I don't think that Harriet had much to do with space exploration, right? She was not as instrumental in exploring space and did not do as much, nearly as much, right, as James Webb did to contribute to this telescope and the scientific discoveries in space that we have today. Again, Harriet Tubman was not an astronomer, right? She wasn't. I'm sorry, okay? I mean, she has nothing to do with this. But again, these people are so woke, they don't care about that. What they actually care about is getting their way and trying to get people to bend to their will, right? So you have this person here, Miss Shonda Weinstein, who tweeted about this, who said some thoughts on the journey to rename JWST, and the coincidental of my TED Talk coming out today. As one of the people who has been leading the push to change the name, Today Feels Bittersweet, I'm so excited for the new images and so angry at NASA HQ. I didn't plan for my TED Talk to be released today on the same day. I don't control the release date at all, nor did I plan for the talk to follow a talk about JWST at the TED meeting. I found out about that 2 days before from looking at the update schedule. Quote, but I hope people can watch the talk and see my genuine enthusiasm for a cosmos, one where queer people are naturally at home, because we too are a reflection of the universe's incredible possibilities. I'm so excited to see what the just wonderful space telescope will teach us. Wow. Incredible. You can't enjoy scientific achievements and discovery, right? You are an astronomer, right? You're a scientist. You're supposed to be excited about this stuff, but you can't be excited about it because the person that they named this telescope after was allegedly a homophobe. With no evidence, by the way, that this guy was actually personally responsible for getting LGBTQ people fired from the government back then. But even if he was, right, let's just say he was, I still don't think that warrants him not being able to have things named after him if the guy was instrumental in these scientific achievements and where we are today when it comes to these telescopes, NASA, and all that other stuff, right? Again, because I don't want to go down this slippery slope, okay, that we're seeing coming from the woke left, in which they're basically trying to erase history. They're trying to erase anybody from history that they don't like, that they deem to be immoral, okay? They're trying to erase the founders, okay? They're taking down statues of Abraham Lincoln, guys. They're like, oh, Lincoln wasn't woke enough, when he was pretty woke for his time, even though if you actually read what Lincoln said, he wasn't as pro-black as they make him out to be. But I'm just saying, regardless, he was woke for his time, right? I mean, if you want to be real, okay, he wasn't woke enough, right? He was not woke enough. So therefore, we got to take down his statue, right? I mean, some of these people have even come after people like Obama. They said Obama was too tough on immigration, so we have to rename schools that are named after Obama because, again, he was not for completely open borders. He deported too many illegals, okay? Again, we can't have this, man. We cannot have these people trying to dictate who we can and can't honor in this society, while at the same time, these people are totally fine with honoring thugs and criminals like George Floyd. People who were negative contributors to society, who were not responsible for one positive contribution to society. Let's build statues of these people. Let's name streets after these people. Let's put up all types of iconic imagery of these people and worship them like they're gods, okay? But people that actually made significant contributions to society, science, our country, right? Oh, no. We got to erase those people from history. Because, they were racist, they were homophobes, they were alive during slavery, whatever, right? They didn't do enough. They don't meet our moral standards. Again, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. It really is. And kudos to NASA for not bending to the woke mob. And I hope they stand their ground. Stand your ground. Do not bend to the mob on this issue. Because if you bend, all it does is empower these people even more to think that we can get whatever we want, right? And all we got to do is whine and complain about it, and society is going to bend to our whims, right? So NASA, stand firm, right? Do not give any ground on this. Do not rename the so-called homophobic telescope. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.